we are at the witch hut. That's near my town, near the town of Stak-Haus, on the Stak-Haus realm. This is a witch broom that is dropped by witches. It's got a 2 in 10 chance to be dropped by a witch when a witch gets derezzed. Since the K word is now a no. Alright, here we go. And it looks like this. If one is killed in the wild. Ooh, I used the K word. Yeah. If one gets derezzed, this will be what the loot looks like. This is what the item looks like. You can see right there on the inventory. It was because I got this mod add-on, and witches very rarely spawn in the wild out there. This dude's stuck in the water. Very rarely spawn in the wild, and when I put the mod in, I put it in a long time ago, and it took so long for a witch to spawn, and when finally did, it was like far away, like where those foxes are, and I tried to shoot it with my bow, and it turned around and ran off, and like immediately ran out of render distance and disappeared, and I hadn't seen one since. So it was a little frustrating because I really wanted to try out the broom, and I couldn't because I couldn't get no witches. But I knew this was here, so let me get a compass real quick. Alright, so spawn is that way. My base is that way, a little ways. And my other 2 members that are on the realm, their base is that way. Or that way-ish. They took over a woodland mansion. So I knew this was here. I came over here and I decided to turn this into a witch farm. This way I can get some brooms among, you know, the other loot that they give out. And instead of using like the trident killer and the pistons and observers and all of that crazy stuff, I decided to just use a simple water trap. You know, the one where just the water stream stores them up and then drop them down from a great height. Witches are freaking stubborn AF. They will fight this water stream. Look at this, look. They will fight the water stream. They're using potions of breathing. You know what I mean? So they won't drown and drop their items, and then the items won't get thrown up there. So they'll fight that. The height for them, this is ridiculous. This is the most ridiculous thing. Usually it's like 23. If you do 23 or more blocks in height, that'll take care of any mob, right? So if you want them to have like a half a heart, you drop them like 22, and then they'll land, and they'll have only half a heart of health left, and then you can use a sword on them. So I tried that, but I don't know. Are they using potions of feather falling? Because I lowered this. I went down to the, you know, the typical height of 23, because I didn't want to have to use a sword on them, even though I have a Lumen 3 sword and it would work out better. I just wanted it to be an AFK drop trap, where they just drop their loot, and that's it. And, you know, I'm not worried about the XP. So, I wanted to have them. Shit, wait. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I wanted to just have them drop their loot into the box. So when I tried the 23 at the height that should have taken care of them, because it's just enough, they didn't die, and they instead would land, get hurt really bad, and immediately start drinking potions of health. So I lowered the whole thing like 3 more blocks, and the same thing was happening. They kept surviving, and they kept drinking potions of health. I lowered it even more, kept surviving, kept drinking potions of health, and I was like, what the hell, are they drinking like feather falling on the way down? Like, what's going on? Like, are they stepping off there and having a sip just enough to keep them from, you know, allowing them to survive? I'm trying not to use the K word. You know, so I don't know. So I lowered this thing all the way down. I don't know. It's got to be more than 30 blocks, right? Look, it starts from up there. It comes all the way down. Look at this. It comes all the way down like this to down here. And only down here, when they were here, they were surviving and drinking health potions. And I was like, are you kidding me? So now finally here, they're landing and they're not surviving. And this is like a good spot because they're spawning in the chamber. So let's go talk about the chamber. Let's go to sleep first. Oh, what? I heard you. Where you at? Oh. Hey. Ah. Come on. Ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, they all fall down. Sucker. So anyway. So this was the front, and where this dark oak is, this is the floor. This was the last piece of floor that they had. And the porch, the little front deck was like right out here. And all of this land that's around here came up. So this is why it's like up here in the air, is because the land was actually up this high. So it was like hanging off. These, the cauldrons spawned in that back corner, and the workbench spawned in that corner. And then, so it wasn't the middle block, but it was the block directly in front of this one. So see, like it's like 1, 2 on that edge, and then 1 in. So it was on that block that they spawned, but no matter which one of these blocks I removed, they would stop spawning. So I have no choice but to have these 6 blocks here, because no matter what I did, they would stop spawning unless I had all 6 here. So I put 6 blue ice. Blue ice is the most slidey of the ice. And the reason why I use that is because when a mob walks and stops, they'll slide. You know what I mean? They won't just stop, they'll slide. So if they stop at the edge, they'll slide further. There's trapdoors there, so to them, they think that there's a floor there. So some of them will just continue to walk and walk right off the edge. Even though the trapdoors are open, they don't see the open or closed state, which is a thing that you do for a lot of mobs when you make traps. They don't see the open or closed state. They just see that the block is occupied and, oh, I can walk on that, and they walk on that. The second thing is if a mob is idle at the edge and another one spawns, the second one will bump into them, and instead of just nudging them a little bit, the ice will allow them to slide a lot. So that'll help perpetuate the witches falling off the edge here, because if I put water here, they won't spawn. If I put water up here, they won't spawn. So they're very finicky. They're very finicky. They fight. They like to fight everything. So then what happens is they spawn up there, they fall through here into this little patch of water, and this little patch of water throws them into that patch of water. Right? They'll fall in there, they'll drift this way. And I didn't have this upper little piece of stream here. There's 2 signs underneath it keeping it up so that it doesn't intermingle with these other ones, as you can see it right there. It was just one space, and then the next stream started. And then what was happening is, as you can see, like this stubborn one, they were hanging out on that patch of ice there and not moving. So I added this stream of water so they'll continue this way. But there's no way, other than hoping that their momentum will continue them straight on into the water. But because they're stubborn the way they are, they always turn around and try to walk the other way when they get to that dry spot. And so they end up getting... There's always one hanging out here, and that happens on a lot of farms. With a zombie farm, like with a zombie spawner, you can actually dig down a hole and drop a villager down there, and then cover it up, and just leave a 1-block hole so that the zombies can see the villager, and they'll just go right for the villager, and they'll just walk right into that stream and go shooting straight up. So those are easy to deal with. Not so much the other mobs, like these witches. But in any case, they'll go in there, they'll shoot up all the way up there. Again, there's more ice, and I always use ice underneath all my waterways because the ice, especially blue ice, the water will push the mobs much faster with the ice than if you use just like stone underneath or whatever. And regular ice to packed ice to blue ice, each one is more slipperier in its nature, and the blue ice, and I think the packed ice won't melt with being near a light source. So, and there's not too far that way is... Yeah, not too far that way is an ice biome, which is where I got all my ice. I'll have that. So yeah, they get shunted over this way, and then they drop straight down, and they land, as we've seen here before, they'll land all the way down at the bottom of this thing. They will not survive. The hopper will pick up their stuff, and as you can see, we got, give me this. We have all this stuff here. Look at all these brooms we got. These are potions of healing left over from when I was still messing with the height, trying to get the height right. And so they were still, every time when I would come down here and get them with my sword, they would always drop a potion of healing because that's what they were doing last. And then once I got the height down, and now they're dropping before they could use any potions. They're dropping just empty bottles. Oh, you can hear it like running now. See, this is a good spot. See, and the ones that are laughing are always the ones that are stuck over there. So any ones that are stuck hanging out, the next one in line that comes down the chute will push them on. So there's always going to be one stuck there, but it's always going to be a new one. And just extra storage chest over here. I gotta redo my lighting. And the whole thing, I wanted to stay with that whole theme of, you know, like the way the witch hut looked. Which is why I kept the original roof. I just took out the walls and put the tinted glass, so it's completely dark inside there. You can't really tell that with the tinted glass. The bottom chamber is completely dark. And then when I built the chute, or the pipes, or whatever you want to call them, I decided to keep the same theme with the roof and the sides, even with the little patch of spruce wood to represent like the floor. And then the same thing over here. I don't know why I did this. I put this like kind of awning on here. Same kind of roof. Follow the theme with the roof as well. Kind of, for some reason to me, it reminds me of like a train station or a bus station. Like a, you know, like a subway. You go down on the subway. Catch the A train. So I have these torches here because this is like the sweet line. So from here to here, all around this, when I was working over here, they were spawning. Alright, but if for some reason, I don't know why. Alright. See those foxes over there? Those foxes are further away, right? You see them spawning there, right? But if I go back, see, they disappear. So I can't be back here. So I can't go like way back there. That's a new guy, right? So I can't go way back there. I have to be at least this close, like in front of the where that black shulker box is, or at least up to, you know, like, you know, within the area of that dirt. Alright, see, there's one spawning now. But if I come too close, let's see, is this, I think it's, what is it, like 28 blocks or 30 blocks or something like that. So where is this? So this is where we'll be standing in front of the thingy, right? So we could be this close. Let's see, any more spawn? How come, or is it if we go down there? Oh no, wait. Yeah, if we go down there, we're like further away than what we are here. I swear that's like the iron golem noise when they die, but just like at a different pitch, right? Come back a little bit, come back a little bit. See? Boom, right there. It's weird. Right. Alternatively, I can go up there. Maybe I might build an actual tower where we can climb up with a ladder and set up here. I don't know how many blocks this is. This was like 40 or something, 38. Yeah, so maybe that's too high because of the way everything's glitching out. Although you can see the foxes, but you can't see the freaking witches, right? Set there for a second and see what happens. What did I take out? 5? We gotta go a little lower. So I left my tools in the box there. Hello? There we go. Here. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see how they get stuck there. See how they're fighting? That one's fighting and they're not even in the patch. In the patch of like where there would be a dry spot. And they don't aggro on villages or anything, so there's nothing I could put down there that would attract them up. So are more gonna come out, or I gotta go lower? Nope, more coming out. Or is that a leftover? See, it seems to give better rates if I hang out up here. Like, this seems to be a better spot. So maybe I'll make like a little hangout tower where we could view down. And we could watch what's happening. I mean, or that, or we could sit at the bottom of the other side, because at the bottom of the other side it seems to work as well. Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. What you selling over here?
Huh.
Same old shite.
Uh-huh.
For some reason they get stuck. They're getting stuck now. Like, he doesn't want to like move from that spot. So that's the there you go. This is the witch hut spawner. No trident killer, no redstone, no pistons, no observers. Some magic is happening somewhere. You hear that? Somebody's peering into the future through their crystal ball. So let's look at the broom real quick and hope that it doesn't crash. This is the reason why I have no items on me. But before the game crashed, then I had to revert because I lost all my stuff. So they dropped the broom, which is have a what was it? What did I say? A 2 in 10 chance to drop a broom when they're eliminated. And when they drop the broom, you can pick it up, you throw it down here, you get a saddle. You put the saddle on it like you would a horse. And look up to fly up. Look down to fly down. There's no neutral spot. There's no like neutral hover. So push forward or push W, however you play. You know, however you would walk or control a horse. Right? You can go back. You can strafe sideways. You could turn. You just got to be careful because if you accidentally dismount, you'll fall all the way down to the ground and de-res, respawn, whatever you want to call it, safely. And the broom itself, you cannot craft them and you cannot repair them. You can only get them from a witch dropping them. And once they're on the ground like that, you can't pick them up. I'll show you briefly again what they look like as an item. You saw them down there. So here's the item in your hand or in your inventory. And that's what it looks like when, if you get one out in the wild. If you de-res a witch out in the wild and she drops her loot, this is what it looks like. Pick it up, it looks like that. And when you place it on the ground, it looks like that. When you place it on the ground, I think you could only go up and down, but you can't steer it until you put a saddle on it. Once you put the saddle on it, it's good to go. And you cannot pick it up once it's on the ground. And this is what happens. So it takes damage just like an animal would. 2 hits, and for some reason it always drops a chest. It doesn't drop any kind of material items. It's a glitch. It says on the page that the says that he's not sure why he's doing that or whatever. He can't get it to stop, but he doesn't think it's that big a deal, which I agree with, because hey, it's a free chest. You lost your broom that you can't get back and can't repair. Did I not have other chests somewhere? I'm pretty sure I had another chest somewhere. Oh yeah, all because I had... Hey, where'd it go? What's going on here? Oh, I'm dumb. Hey, I'm looking for the broom that I just broke. I am dumb. Alright, there you go. All because I wanted that mod to work. Oh, not that I wanted it to work. It was working, but it was just frustrating that I wasn't seeing any witches out in the wild. So, it's all because of this mod that I decided to make this whole thing. And I decided to make it without any of the redstone stuff, or, so it's super simple, easy to do. Bada bing, bada boom. Right? So, I hope you understand how that works. Right? You want me to run through it again? I'll just run through it again. You can see the signs hold back the water, and that's how I directed the streams. So that put that sign there. That keeps that stream from continuing on into that, because otherwise what happens is that'll cause a situation like this, where the two waters are coming together and the witches all get stuck there. There's a sign here, and then there's another sign on the opposite block, I think that log. And that keeps this water from flowing, because this whole thing is open. It's like 3 blocks high, keeps that water from flowing this way. Right. This water keeps this water from flowing that way. Right, and then that sign there, or that sign I should say, that sign down there keeps the water from dropping down, and also keeps that water from flowing that way and connecting. Right, the same thing with the sign that's under here. That sign keeps this water from dropping down, and this water back here from going that way. And then this sign over here keeps that water from flowing this way and combining with that. And therefore it keeps all the flow straight. On this wall here, we have these signs here, which occupy this line of blocks next to this line of water. And so this line of water says this is occupied and I can't flow that way. So it blocks this water here and doesn't allow it to drop down and mingle with that and interfere with that stream. So that's how those water streams work, and it's very similar up there. The water, this water has a soul sand at the bottom. The soul sand, as long as the whole stream is source blocks, the soul sand will give off bubbles that, will give off bubbles that will pull you up, or pull an item up, or pull a mob up in a very quick fashion. And then there is a sign. The level of water where the bubble stream is perfectly even with this line of ice, right? So what happens is the mob gets up there and bobs. Where that block is, there's a water source that goes this way, right? So there's a sign here that keeps that water source from dropping down into the bubble stream and interfering with that. And it also pushes the mob this way. On the opposite side of this log, inside the chamber, is another sign which keeps that water from continuing on, right? And this sign and this sign both contain this water into this spot here, but because the water starts here, it flows this way and pushes the mob, as you just saw. On the other side of this block, where the cursor is the water source for this stream, which pushes this way, so the mobs flow that way, and this water stream is just long enough to reach the edge of the block, but the water stream stops on its own, because a Minecraft water stream is only 8 blocks long and then stops. So it's at the same length as the ice blocks below it, so they both stop and the mobs will just fly right off. So I don't need any signs at that spot there to block any water. So due to the nice Minecraft mechanics, how different things occupy the coordinates, we are able to use these this is me trying to use a controller to walk and the mouse to look around. So the reason why that's happening is because the mouse, I think the up and down for the mouse is not reversed like the controller is. Like I have inverted on the controller but not on the mouse, so I think it interferes with each other when I'm using both at the same time. Anywho, so yeah, that's how we use the water streams to our advantage, to direct mobs and items to where we want them to go in certain fashion. Magma blocks will do the opposite of soul sand. It'll pull you down. So magma blocks are very scary in the water. Right? So it's very simple, and using that same concept, we put the trapdoors there, so the witches or any mobs think that these 2 blocks are filled with a block. They're occupied, even though the trapdoors are open. They don't see the trapdoor in the open state, so they'll just walk off the edge. And there you go. And that's how you direct everything. And that's how we were able to, in the early days, take advantage of the dungeon spawners. You know, like the spider spawner and the skeleton spawner and the zombie spawner that are in those little cages. Yep. And it was even back in the day, you were able to just open up like a big pit on the ground and then put, like, you know, set up a water stream and your trap doors and stuff like that or whatever, and send it down to what was known as a lava blade. And a lava blade was used basically the same setup with like signs and stuff to hold lava back, but you would have like lava come out like at this level from a source block there and comes across this way, just maybe like 4 blocks, and it would thin out as it went. and you would have, you know, like signs and everything so that it wouldn't, you know, drop down here. So any mob that was pushed into it, they would get their head burned, and, you know, and that's how they would get offed. And the items would, you know, like fall to the bottom with another water stream would pull them to a collection point. But something changed a while back, and when the items pop out of a mob, instead of popping out at ground level, they pop out at head level. So if you're using a lava blade at head level, the items will pop out and then get burned by the lava. So that became like a no thing. But what would you do is you would like build it, say out there where that mushroom was, with the trapdoors, and you'd hang out back here somewhere, and you'd have all these random mobs, you know, like passive mobs, and hostile mobs would spawn, and they'd all like end up walking up into that and falling in there and all going down into the lava blade. And then you'd collect loot that way. And that was even before hoppers were around, so you had to like literally hang out down there and, you know, run down there and collect stuff up, you know, or you know, make a water stream that brought it to you, you know, which was a thing. Anyway, thanks for watching.